In the stillness of morning, a man either sharpens his blade or he lets it rust. The same is true of his will. In this life, there is no secret to mastery, only the quiet, brutal repetition of simple things done well. A warrior does not wait for battle to begin his training, and you, though not one of sword and steel, are still in the midst of a great war against laziness, distraction, and weakness of the self. You will not win it with talk. You will not win it tomorrow. You must begin today. I have walked alone many roads. I have fought 60 duels, but the greatest opponent I ever faced was the undisciplined mind. In this teaching, I will show you how to forge discipline not in temples or mountains, but in the ordinary tasks of everyday life. You will learn how to rise early like the sword rises from its scabbard, how to eat, train, and speak with intention, and how to strip away excess until only what is essential remains. If your spirit seeks refinement, then walk with us. Subscribe to this channel and return often, because discipline is not learned in one day. It is forged over time like steel in fire. Let us begin. The blade of the mind, your mind, wanders again. As you read these words, notice how it drifts, like leaves scattered by autumn winds. This is the first battle you must win, not tomorrow, not in some distant monastery, but here, now, in this moment. Am Miyamoto Musashi. I have fought men with steel and wood, with fist and blade, but the greatest duel I ever fought was against the untamed wilderness of my own thoughts. Every warrior must first master this, the art of directing the mind's blade. Picture yourself holding a katana. Feel its weight, its purpose. A sword does not hesitate. It does not second guess. It moves with pure intention, or it does not move at all. Your mind must become this blade, sharp, focused, unburdened by doubt. But look at your mind now. How many tabs lie open in your browser? How many notifications beg for your attention? Your thoughts scatter like startled birds, fleeing from task to task, never fully landing, never truly completing. This is not the way of the warrior. This is the way of defeat. Let me show you how to forge the blade of your mind. First, understand this truth. Distraction is not a modern problem. It is an ancient enemy. When I wrote the Book of 5 Rings, I too battled against wandering thoughts, against the seduction of easier paths. The weapon you hold may be a phone instead of a sword, but the battle remains the same. Begin with your breath. When a swordsman faces his opponent, his breath becomes his anchor. In this moment, draw a single deep breath. Feel it fill your lungs. This is your first act of discipline, your first cut against chaos. Now narrow your focus to one task. One single point, like the tip of a blade. Remove everything else from your field of vision. Close the unnecessary tabs. Silence the notifications. Create a space of pure intention. When I trained young samurai, I would have them sit in perfect stillness, watching a single leaf fall. Hours would pass. Their minds would scream for movement, for distraction, for escape, but slowly, like steel folded in the forge, their focus would strengthen. You will do the same, but in the midst of your daily life. When you work, work. When you eat, eat. When you rest, rest. No half measures, no divided attention. This is how you begin to sharpen the blade of your mind. Each time your thoughts wander, bring them back. Not with anger, a warrior never attacks himself, but with firm, unwavering purpose. Like a sword returning to its sheath, guide your mind back to its center. This practice must become as natural as breathing. When I faced opponents in duels, there was no time for scattered thoughts. Every divided moment meant death. Your battles may not draw blood, but they are no less vital. Your work, your relationships, your goals, all require the full blade of your attention. Train this way. Set a single task before you. 10 minutes, no distractions. When thoughts arise, and they will arise like clouds in an empty sky, let them pass without engagement. Return to the point of focus, again and again. This is how you forge the weapon of your consciousness. Remember, A dull blade is more dangerous than no blade at all. It hesitates, it slips, it fails at the crucial moment. Your mind, scattered and distracted, is this dull blade, but with each moment of focused practice, you sharpen it. The blade of the mind must be maintained daily. Just as I would clean and oil my sword each evening, you must clear your mental space. Delete the unnecessary. Simplify your environment. Remove what does not serve your purpose. This is not a practice of months or years. It is the work of a lifetime. Every day you will face new tests, new distractions, new battles for your attention. But with each victory, with each return to focus, your mind grows sharper. I have walked the path of the sword for decades, and this I know: the warrior who masters his mind masters his life. Every great achievement, every moment of excellence begins with this single point of unwavering attention. Let others live with scattered minds. Let them bounce from distraction to distraction, their thoughts as dull as rusted blades. You walk a different path now, the path of the focused warrior, the path of the sharpened mind. Begin now, in this moment. Draw your attention to a single point, like a sword drawn from its scabbard. Feel the power of undivided focus. This is your first step on the warrior's path. This is where your transformation begins, because when you master the blade of your mind, you master the art of living itself. The hour before sunrise, in the deepest hour of night, when the world lies suspended between darkness and dawn, a choice presents itself. It is the choice between comfort and conquest, between remaining as you are and becoming what you must be. This is the hour that separates warriors from dreamers. I have fought battles before sunrise that most men will never know, not with swords, but with the weight of warm blankets, with the seduction of just 5 more minutes, with the 1,000 excuses that rise like shadows in the pre-dawn mind. You know these battles well. Perhaps you fight them now, or rather, perhaps you surrender to them daily. Your bed becomes your dojo of defeat. But today this changes. Listen carefully to what I am about to teach you, for this is the foundation upon which all other discipline is built. The hour before sunrise is not merely time. It is a weapon, a forge, a sacred space in which you will rebuild yourself day by day. First, understand this: the early morning holds a power that no other time possesses. The air itself is different, cleaner, stiller, unburdened by the chaos of day. Your mind, fresh from sleep, is like an unsheathed blade, ready to be honed. When I trained in the way of the sword, I rose before the sun without exception. Not because I enjoyed it. Enjoyment is not the warrior's concern, but because I understood a truth that has been forgotten in your age of endless artificial light. The day must be seized before it begins. Begin here. Set your sleeping quarters, like a warrior would prepare his camp. No phone within arm's reach, no distractions lying in wait. Your bed is for sleep and nothing else. This is your first act of morning discipline. When the alarm sounds, and you must set it early, before the sun even hints at its arrival, you will face your first test of will. In this moment, you have but one duty: move, not think, not plan, not negotiate. Move. Your feet must touch the floor before your mind has time to protest. This is critical. The warrior does not lie in bed contemplating the day ahead. He rises. He moves. The thinking comes later. Stand immediately. Straighten your spine. Take 3 deep breaths. This is your salute to the coming day, your declaration of intent. Feel the cold air on your skin. Welcome it. Discomfort is your ally in this hour. Now, your morning ritual begins. Like a sword being drawn from its scabbard, each movement must be deliberate, practiced, refined. Wash your face with cold water, not warm. The cold awakens the warrior spirit, shocks the system into alertness. This is not about comfort. This is about preparation for battle. Dress simply, cleanly, with purpose. Your clothes should be laid out the night before. A warrior does not waste the sacred morning hours hunting for socks. Every detail must be prepared, every obstacle removed. Drink water first, clear, cold, pure. Your body has been without water for hours. Hydrate it before all else. This is not mere health advice, it is strategy. A dehydrated mind cannot think clearly, and unclear thinking leads to defeat. If you train your body, and you must, do it now, in this hour of power. When I was young, I would practice sword strikes as the sun rose, my movements becoming sharper as darkness gave way to light. Your exercise may be different, but the principle remains. Move your body before the world demands your attention. The morning is also time for meditation, but not the soft, comfortable meditation that has become popular. Sit in Seiza position, back straight, eyes half closed. 10 minutes, no more, no less. Focus on your breath. When thoughts intrude, cut them down like enemies in battle. Return to the breath. This is how you sharpen your mind for the day ahead. Do not eat yet. The warrior learns to be comfortable with an empty stomach. Your hunger will sharpen you, wake you fully, prepare you for the first meal when it comes. As the sun begins to rise, you should be fully prepared. Body clean, mind clear, spirit awakened. This is how you greet the day as a warrior, not as a victim of circumstance. Remember, the early morning is not a time of peace. It is a battlefield. Every warm blanket is an enemy. Every moment of extra sleep is a small death. Every morning that you rise before the sun, you win a victory that will echo throughout your day. Start tomorrow. No, start today. Set your alarm. Now, before you read another word. The hour before sunrise awaits you. It holds everything you need to transform yourself. Solitude, silence, space for growth. This is where your warrior's path begins anew each day. In the dark, in the cold, in the quiet hours when lesser men sleep. Rise up. Take your place among those who greet the dawn with purpose. Because the warrior who masters the morning masters his life. One meal, one purpose. Look at your plate. What do you see? If you are like most in this age of excess, you see not sustenance, but distraction. Not fuel, but entertainment. Not medicine, but mere pleasure. This is not the warrior's way. I have eaten meals of plain rice that taught me more about discipline than 1,000 lectures on self-control. When you learn to master your relationship with food, you master a fundamental aspect of your humanity. This is what I will teach you now. Consider how you eat. Phone in one hand, fork in the other, television blaring, mind scattered between a dozen thoughts. You consume without consciousness, fill yourself without purpose. This must end today. The samurai approaches his meal as he approaches his sword practice, with reverence, with attention, with clear purpose. Food is not entertainment. It is not escape. It is medicine for your body, fuel for your battles. First, understand this principle. Every meal is a ceremony. When I trained young warriors, I would watch how they ate. Their manner at the meal table told me more about their character than their sword technique. A scattered mind makes scattered movements, whether with chopsticks or with steel. Begin with this practice, one meal, one purpose. When you eat, eat. Nothing else. No phone, no television, no reading, no conversation, unless it serves the meal. Your attention must be fully present with each bite, each movement, each breath. Arrange your food with purpose, clean, simple, ordered. Even if you eat simple fare, present it with respect. A warrior does not throw his sword carelessly on the ground. Neither should he throw his food carelessly on his plate. Before you begin, pause. Take 3 breaths. Feel the hunger in your body, real hunger, not the false hunger of boredom or emotion. Acknowledge those who prepared this food, whether it was yourself or another. This moment of gratitude is not mere ceremony. It centers your mind on the task at hand. Now, eat with full attention. Notice the texture of each bite, the temperature, the flavor, how the food feels as it enters your body. This is not about pleasure, though pleasure may come. It is about awareness, about mastery of the moment. Chew thoroughly. I trained my warriors to chew each bite 30 times. This is not excessive, it is precise. Modern science now confirms what warriors have known for centuries. Proper chewing aids digestion, reduces overconsumption, heightens awareness. Pay attention to quantity. The warrior's stomach should be filled to 80%, no more. In battle, a full stomach is a icon of vulnerability. In daily life, it is a drain on your energy, your clarity, your purpose. Learn to recognize true hunger from false hunger. When emotions drive you to eat, stop. Observe the urge. A warrior does not flee from uncomfortable feelings into the false comfort of food. Face the emotion directly, as you would face an opponent. Establish clear times for meals. Random snacking is the mark of an undisciplined mind. Your body should know when to expect nourishment, just as your mind should know when to expect battle. This rhythm creates strength. Choose your foods as you would choose your weapons, with clear purpose, with understanding of their use. Empty calories are like decorative swords. They serve no real purpose. Each thing you eat should serve your warrior's path. Learn to fast, not as a punishment, but as training. Once each month, I would go a full day without food. This practice sharpens the mind, strengthens the will, reminds you that hunger is not an emergency. It teaches you to function at full capacity even when discomfort arises. When you dine with others, maintain your discipline. Do not let their habits become your habits. A warrior can sit at any table and maintain his way. This is true strength. To hold your center while the world spins chaotically around you. Remember, every meal is a chance to practice discipline. Every bite is an opportunity for mindfulness. Every moment with food is a moment to strengthen or weaken your warrior's spirit. This is not about denial. It is not about punishment. It is about purpose, about treating your body as the temple and weapon that it is, about bringing consciousness to one of the most fundamental acts of human existence. Start with your next meal. Clear your space. Remove distractions. Sit properly. Breathe. Bring your full warrior's attention to the act of nourishing your body. This is not a small thing. It is the foundation of physical discipline. Because when you master your relationship with food, you master a primary source of human weakness. When you eat with warrior's attention, you transform a simple meal into an act of spiritual progression. This is the way of the warrior, to find discipline in the ordinary, to create ceremony from the mundane, to transform mere eating into training for the spirit. The silence between words. Listen to the conversations around you, the endless chatter, the thoughtless words thrown into the air like scattered leaves, the constant noise that fills every space, every moment. This is not strength, this is weakness. Made audible? I have seen warriors lose battles before their swords ever touched, defeated by their own undisciplined tongues. In your world, where words flow as freely as water, this danger is even greater. You must learn the way of verbal discipline. Consider, a sword once drawn cannot be taken back. The same is true of words. Yet how carelessly you draw them, these weapons of speech, how thoughtlessly you wield them. This ends today. First, understand this fundamental truth. Silence is not empty. It is not a void to be filled. Silence is power. It is the space in which strength gathers, in which wisdom deepens, in which discipline is forged. When I trained young samurai, I would sometimes sit with them in complete silence for hours, those who could not bear it, who had to fill the air. With nervous words, these were not yet warriors. They were still slaves to their own discomfort. Begin your practice here. For 1 full hour each day, maintain complete silence. Not partial silence, not quiet conversation, complete silence. Feel how your mind rebels against this. Notice the constant urge to speak, to comment, to fill the space. This urge is your enemy. In this silence, you will discover something profound. Most of what you say is unnecessary. Most of your words serve not purpose but habit. They are verbal twitches, nothing more. A warrior's speech must be like his sword strokes, purposeful, measured, essential. When you do speak, speak with full intention. Before each utterance, ask yourself, is this necessary? Does this serve a purpose? Would silence serve better? Think of your words as arrows. Once released, they cannot be recalled. Make each one count. Learn to embrace the pause. Modern conversation has become like poorly choreographed swordplay, all attack, no space for breath or thought. When others speak, truly listen. When you respond, take a moment first. Let your words rise from silence, not from impulse. This is crucial. Never speak from emotion alone. When anger rises, when excitement peaks, when fear grips, these are the moments when silence serves you best. A warrior masters his tongue by first mastering his heart. In meetings, in arguments, in casual conversation, be the one who speaks least but says most. Your words should carry weight. They should cut through noise like a blade through air. This comes not from clever rhetoric, but from the power of restraint. Practice these disciplines. When criticized, pause before defending. When praised, let silence be your gratitude. When others gossip, let your quiet presence be your strength. When asked your opinion, give it plainly, without embellishment or repetition. Watch how others fill silence with nervous chatter. Notice how they weaken their own words by multiplying them. A single clear statement holds more power than 1,000 rambling explanations. This is the economy of speech that every warrior must master. In text messages, in emails, in social media, apply the same discipline. Your written words are also sword strokes. Make them clean, precise, purposeful. The warrior does not spray thoughts across screens like graffiti across walls. Learn to recognize verbal weakness in yourself, the need to have the last word, the urge to fill uncomfortable silences, the habit of speaking without thinking, the tendency to use many words when few would suffice. Each of these is a gap in your armor. Here's a truth that may shock you. Some of the most powerful words you will ever speak are the ones you choose not to say, the arguments you step back from, the reactions you swallow, the comments you let pass. This restraint is not weakness, it is mastery. Consider the great generals of history. They did not shout their strategies to the heavens. They did not telegraph their intentions with loose words. They understood that power often lies in what remains unsaid. Your practice begins now. In your next conversation, speak half as much as you normally would. Feel the power in this restraint. Notice how others lean into your words when they become rare. Notice how your thoughts clarify when you must choose them carefully. This is not about becoming silent as a stone. It is about making your words matter, about bringing the same discipline to your speech that a swordsman brings to his blade. Every word should have purpose. Every utterance should carry weight. Remember, a warrior's words, like his weapons, should remain sheathed until necessary, and when drawn, they should accomplish their purpose with clean efficiency. Then return to silence where true power gathers, because when you master the silence between words, you master the space where wisdom grows. Order in the space, order in the soul. Look around you. What do you see? Clutter on your desk, clothes strewn. Across chairs, digital chaos on your screen. This disorder is not merely physical. It is a reflection of your inner state, and it is weakening you in ways you do not yet understand. I have trained in dojos where a single misplaced weapon meant immediate dismissal, not from perfectionism, but from understanding the space around you is an extension of your mind. A cluttered space creates a cluttered spirit. Consider the traditional samurai's room. Simple, clean, essential. Every object in its proper place. Every space serving its purpose. This was not mere aesthetics. It was spiritual and tactical discipline. In disorder, death finds its opening. First, understand this principle. Your environment shapes your mind as surely as a scabbard shapes its blade. Live in chaos, and chaos will live in you. Create order, and order will become your nature. Begin with your sleeping space. A warrior's bedroom should be like a well-maintained sword, clean, simple, purpose-driven. Remove everything that does not serve rest or preparation for battle. Your sleep sanctuary must be truly sanctuary. Your desk, whether it holds a computer or papers, is your modern war room. Here, disorder is not merely unsightly, it is dangerous. It fragments your attention, weakens your focus, dulls your edge. Clear it completely. Then, return only what is essential for your work. Digital space demands the same discipline. Your computer desktop is not a dumping ground. Your phone is not a chaos machine. Organize your files as you would organize your weapons. Delete what you do not need. A warrior travels light, even in the digital realm. Now, learn this practice. The 5-minute reset. Every time you finish a task, spend 5 minutes returning your space to perfect order. This is not cleaning. This is maintaining your battle readiness. A samurai would never sheathe a dirty blade. You should never leave a space in disarray. Your clothes must be treated with similar respect. The way you store your garments reflects the way you store your thoughts. Fold with intention, organize with purpose. This is not vanity. This is training in attention to detail, in respect for your tools. Consider your walls, your surfaces, your shelves. Everything you display affects your mind. Choose what surrounds you as carefully as you would choose your words in battle. Each object should either serve a purpose or elevate your spirit. There is no room for the meaningless in the kitchen. Apply warrior's discipline. Tools cleaned immediately after use. Surfaces clear and ready. This space is not merely for cooking, it is for practicing order, for training in immediate action. A cluttered kitchen breeds cluttered thinking. Your bathroom, too, must reflect. Discipline. Minimize products. Organize essentials. This space of daily ritual should feel like a temple of preparation, not a storage room of endless options. Simplicity here creates clarity in your morning discipline. Learn to distinguish between what is truly necessary and what is mere accumulation. In my years of dueling, I carried only what I needed, no more, no less. Your possessions should pass. The same test. Does this serve my purpose? Does this strengthen my path? When you acquire something new, remove something old. This one-in, one-out discipline prevents the slow creep of clutter that weakens so many warriors. Your space should remain constant in its order, like a well-maintained blade. Practice this. Once each season, empty a room completely. Then return only what serves your warrior's purpose. Feel how space itself becomes a source of power. Notice how emptiness creates possibility, how order generates peace. Your car, your bag, your wallet, every space you inhabit must reflect warrior discipline. No receipts crumpled at the bottom of bags. No unnecessary items weighing you down. Travel through life like a sword cutting air, clean, purposeful, unencumbered. When you visit others' spaces, notice how their environment reflects their mind. But do not judge. Simply observe and learn. Every cluttered room, every chaotic desk is a teacher showing you what to avoid in your own practice. Start now. Choose one space, even a small one. Clear it completely. Clean it thoroughly. Return. Only what is essential. Feel the immediate effect on your mind. This is not mere organization. This is spiritual practice made physical. Remember, a clean space is not the goal. It is the path. Order in your environment creates order in your thoughts, clarity in your decisions, power in your actions. This is why warriors have always insisted on immaculate spaces. Because when you master your physical space, you create the foundation for mastering your inner world. When you live in order, you become order itself. Time is the sword. Time flows like a river, but not all know how to navigate its currents. Most are swept along, tumbling between moments, drowning in the chaos of unstructured days. They speak of killing time, not realizing that they are killing themselves instead. In my years of swordsmanship, I learned that timing is everything. A perfect cut delivered at the wrong moment becomes a fatal mistake. Your life is no different. Each day presents you with 86 healers, 400 moments, each one a chance to strike true or strike false. Consider how you treat time now, wandering through hours without purpose, allowing others to steal your moments like thieves in the night, procrastinating as if time were an endless resource. This stops today. First, understand this principle. Time is your most sacred possession, not money, not things. Time, once spent, it can never be regained. A samurai treats every moment as if it were a blade. Either it cuts true or it cuts against you. Begin here. Your day must have structure, like a sword has structure. The handle, the guard, the blade, each part serves its purpose. Your morning. Routine is your handle. Grip it firmly. Your work periods are your blade. Keep them sharp. Your rest periods are your guard. Maintain them well. Learn to measure time as precisely as a swordsmith measures steel. When you say you will work for an hour, work for exactly an hour, not 50 minutes, not 70 minutes. Exact precision builds temporal discipline. Your schedule should be like a weapon, cleaned daily, maintained carefully, ready for use at any moment. Each evening, prepare tomorrow's schedule. Each morning, review it. This is not planning, this is sharpening. Your temporal blade. Modern warriors face unique challenges. The constant ping of notifications, the endless scroll of social media, the Netflix show that steals hours like a skilled pickpocket. These are your time thieves. Cut them down without mercy. Practice this discipline, the time block, like a master. Swordsman practices one cut 10,000 times. You must learn to focus on one task for extended periods. 30 minutes, no distractions, no exceptions. Then 45 minutes, then an hour. Build your temporal endurance. Understand the difference between urgent and important. Most who fail in time mastery confuse these two. The urgent screams for attention like a poor swordsman telegraphing his moves. The important waits silently, like a master warrior ready to strike. Your relationship with time must be intentional. Do not let events come up. Do not let meetings happen. Schedule everything. Control everything. A warrior chooses when to draw his sword. He does not let others draw it for him. Learn to say no. Every yes is a blade stroke that commits your time. Say yes rarely, strategically, with full awareness of the temporal cost. Most who fail in life say yes too often, spreading their time too thin, weakening every strike. Guard your prime hours like a samurai guards his lord. Those hours when your mind is sharpest, your energy strongest. These are sacred. Do not waste them on trivial tasks. Reserve them for your most important battles. Master the art of temporal batching. Group similar tasks like a swordsman groups. Similar cuts, all emails at once, all calls at once, all deep work at once. This is not merely efficiency, it is respect for the rhythm of time itself. Understand this. Busy is not productive. Movement is not progress. Many mistake activity for achievement, like a beginner swinging his sword wildly. Every moment must have purpose. Every action must have direction. When you rest, rest fully. When you work, work fully. Half measures with time create half results in life. A warrior does not check his phone while sharpening his blade. He does not daydream while in combat. Present moment, present action. Learn to recognize time debt, those commitments that steal from your future. The meeting that could have been an email, the project that serves no purpose, the relationship that drains rather than fills. Cut these from your life as a surgeon cuts cancer. Your calendar is your battlefield map. Review it weekly. Where are the waste points? Where are the ambush spots? Where can you tighten your defenses? This is not micromanagement. It is tactical awareness. Start now. Take out your calendar. Look at tomorrow. Is it structured like a well-forged blade, or is it a mass of unformed metal? Shape it. Sharpen it. Make it worthy of a warrior. Remember, time mastery is life mastery. A day well structured is a battle half won. A week well planned is a campaign positioned for victory. A life well scheduled is a war already conquered. Because when you master time, you master the fundamental resource of all achievement. When you control your moments, you control your destiny. The body as temple, the body as weapon. Look at your body. Not with vanity's eyes seeking superficial beauty. Look at it as a warrior would, as both sacred vessel and lethal instrument. How have you treated this temple? How have you honed this weapon? In my years of combat, I learned that the body speaks truth when all else lies. You cannot deceive your muscles. You cannot negotiate with your tendons. The body reveals your discipline, or your lack of it, with brutal honesty. Most modern humans treat their bodies like rental cars, pushing them too hard, filling them with poor fuel, ignoring the warning signs until breakdown occurs. This is not the warrior's way. This is the way of slow suicide. First, understand this principle. Your body is not separate from your spirit. Physical discipline is spiritual discipline. Mental strength flows from physical strength. The two swords of mind and body must be wielded as one. Begin with this understanding. Training is not punishment. It is not vanity. It is preparation for the battles of life. Every movement strengthens not just muscle, but will. Every rep builds not just strength, but spirit. The warrior's approach to physical training has three pillars: consistency, progression, and purpose. Like a sword must be maintained daily, your body requires daily attention, not brutal, sporadic efforts, but steady, intentional practice. Learn this discipline. Rise each morning and immediately put your body into motion. No negotiation, no delay. 20 push-ups, 30 squats, a series of stretches that awaken every muscle. Your body must learn that dawn means movement. Your training should be like sword practice, precise, focused, purposeful. No mindless repetitions, no wandering attention. Each movement should be performed with full consciousness, full intention. Feel every muscle, understand every motion. Modern warriors face unique challenges, sitting for hours, staring at screens, shoulders rounded forward, like wilting flowers. These are not mere posture problems. They are spiritual weaknesses made physical. You must combat them deliberately. Practice this. Every hour, stand, move, stretch. Your ancestors did not sit in chairs for 8 hours. Your body is not designed for stillness. Movement is life. Stagnation is death. Your training must be balanced like a well-forged blade. Strength without flexibility creates brittleness. Endurance without power creates weakness. Speed without control creates vulnerability. Develop all aspects of physical capacity. Learn to read your body's signals like a samurai reads his opponent's movements. Fatigue, tension, weakness, pain. These are not your enemies. They are your teachers. Listen to them, respect them, but do not let them master you. Nutrition is not separate from training. What you eat builds your body's blade. Choose foods that serve strength, not merely pleasure. Eat like a warrior preparing for battle, not like a civilian seeking comfort. Sleep is not lazy, it is sacred. 7 to 8 hours in darkness, in silence. Your body repairs itself in sleep, like a sword being reforged. Respect this process. Protect this time. A warrior who disrespects sleep dulls his own blade. Understand this. Your body adapts to what you demand of it. Demand too little, and it weakens. Demand too much, and it breaks. Find the middle path, consistent challenge without destruction. This is the way of sustainable strength. Your training schedule must be as disciplined as a samurai's practice routine. Same time, same place, no excuses. The body learns through repetition, through reliability. Random exercise creates random results. Learn to distinguish between discomfort and damage. A warrior pushes through discomfort. This builds strength. But he respects true pain. This preserves the weapon. Know the difference. Honor both. Your breath is your most fundamental weapon. Learn to control it. Deep, slow, purposeful breathing. During exercise, Measured, steady breathing during rest. Quick, powerful breathing during exertion. Your breath connects body and spirit. Start here. Create a morning training ritual. Simple, consistent, non-negotiable. 10 minutes if that's all you have. But do it every day, like a samurai cleaning his blade every morning. This is your foundation. Remember, physical training is not about looking good. It is not about impressing others. It is about forging your body into a weapon that serves your spirit. It is about building a temple worthy of housing your warrior's soul. Train with this mindset and watch how it transforms not just your body, but your entire approach to life. Every workout becomes moving meditation. Every rep becomes spiritual. Practice, because when you master your body, you master the primary weapon you will use in all of life's battles. When you forge physical discipline, you forge the foundation of all other disciplines. Do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Your world drowns in pleasure. Endless entertainment streams into your devices. Infinite distractions beckon from your screens. Every moment of boredom can be instantly medicated with digital dopamine. This is not freedom. This is a gilded prison. I have watched warriors fall not to the sword, but to sake. Not to their enemies, but to their own appetites. In your age, the dangers are even greater. The modern world has weaponized pleasure, turned it into an instrument of enslavement. Consider how you seek comfort now. The instant reach for the phone when alone, the automatic Netflix cue when tired, the social media scroll when bored. These are not choices, they are compulsions, and they are weakening your warrior spirit. First, understand this principle. Pleasure is not evil. Joy is not wrong, but pleasure sought for its own sake becomes poison. It must be the servant, not the master. The reward, not the purpose. Begin with this practice, the pleasure audit. For one day, record every time you reach for entertainment or distraction. Notice the triggers, the emotions you're avoiding, the discomfort you're medicating. This awareness is your first weapon against mindless indulgence. Your phone is both servant and saboteur. It can serve your warrior's purpose or destroy your warrior's focus. No samurai would let his sword control him. Yet you let your device dictate your attention, your time, your mental state. Learn this discipline, sacred spaces. Certain times and places must be completely free of digital distraction. Your morning hours, your training time, your meal times, your rest periods. Create boundaries as solid as castle walls. The warrior's way is not asceticism. It is not the denial of all pleasure. It is the mastery of pleasure. The ability to enjoy without attachment, to experience without becoming enslaved, to taste the sweet without craving more. Practice this. Scheduled pleasure. Like a wise general planning his campaigns, plan your entertainment. Choose it consciously. Engage in it fully. Then stop completely. No random YouTube spirals. No endless Instagram scrolls. Intentional engagement, intentional disengagement. Understand the difference between recreation and escape. Recreation rebuilds your strength, like a warrior maintaining his weapons. Escape depletes your power, like a soldier fleeing the battlefield. Learn to distinguish between the two. Your entertainment should serve your growth. Reading, that strengthens your mind. Gomos. That sharpens your strategy. Art that deepens your spirit. If it merely numbs you, merely passes time, it is not worthy of a warrior's attention. Digital pleasure is particularly dangerous because it offers all reward with no effort, no waiting, no earning, no sacred delay between desire and fulfillment. This instant gratification weakens the spirit like soft living weakens the body. Learn to find pleasure in discipline itself, in the clean edge of focus, in the sharp blade of attention, in the strong arm of self-control. These are deeper pleasures than any screen can provide, more lasting than any digital hit. Master the art of stopping. Most fail not in choosing their pleasures, but in releasing them. A true warrior can walk away at will, from the movie, from the game, from the scroll. This is true power, the ability to say, enough. Your evenings are particularly vulnerable to pleasure-seeking. Tired from the day's battles, you reach for easy comfort. Guard these hours carefully. Create evening rituals that serve rest, not mindless consumption. Understand this: every pleasure has a price. Not in money, but in energy, in attention, in time. Calculate these costs carefully. Budget your pleasure like a general budgets his. Resources. Not every battle is worth the cost. Start with this. Choose one pleasure that has become compulsion, one digital habit that serves no purpose. Remove it completely for 30 days. Feel the discomfort, welcome it. This is how you rebuild your warrior's will. Remember, a life without pleasure is not the goal. A life without mastery over pleasure is not worthy of a warrior. Find the middle path where pleasure serves your purpose rather than destroying it. Your ancestors faced physical hardships. You face pleasure hardships. Their challenge was surviving with too little. Yours is thriving with too much. Both require warrior spirit. Both demand samurai discipline, because when you master pleasure, you master one of the most subtle and dangerous opponents you will ever face. When you control your appetites, you control your destiny. Endure that which is uncomfortable. Your modern world conspires to make you soft. Temperature-controlled rooms, cushioned chairs, instant comfort at every turn. Each convenience seems a blessing, but together they forge the chains of weakness that bind your warrior spirit. I have trained in winter storms, practiced sword forms until my hands bled, sat in meditation while snow gathered on my shoulders. Not from masochism, but from understanding. Comfort is a prison. Discomfort is the path to freedom. Look at how you flee from difficulty now. The slightest physical discomfort sends you reaching for medication. The smallest emotional disturbance must be immediately soothed. The briefest moment of boredom becomes unbearable. This ends today. First, understand this principle. Discomfort is not your enemy. It is your teacher, your trainer, your path to strength. Every time you choose comfort over growth, you choose weakness over power. Begin with cold. The cold shower is your first dojo of discomfort. Step in without hesitation. Feel the shock. Notice your mind's protests, your body's resistance. Stay. Breathe. This is not about hygiene. This is about forging will. The warrior embraces voluntary hardship, not because suffering is good, but because resilience is essential. In my time, we would sleep on wooden floors, eat simple food, train in all weather. Today, you must create your own challenges. Learn this practice, the discomfort menu. Each day, choose one voluntary hardship. Skip a meal. Take the stairs. Walk in the rain. Sit in silence with your thoughts. Small discomforts build the foundation for greater strength. Your body yearns for comfort, like a sword yearns for its sheath. But a sword kept always sheathed grows dull. Your comfort-seeking habits are dulling your edge, weakening your resolve, softening your warrior spirit. Practice this. Temperature training. Keep your room slightly too cold or too warm. Let your body adapt. Learn to focus despite physical discomfort. This is not about suffering. It is about expanding your zone of capability. Understand the difference between pain that destroys and discomfort that strengthens. A warrior knows this distinction in his bones. Push to the edge of your comfort, then step just beyond. This is where growth lives. Learn to find peace in discomfort. When you run, don't distract yourself with music. Feel the burn in your lungs. When you work, don't seek constant stimulation. Embrace the mental strain. These are not burdens. They are opportunities. Your ancestors naturally faced hardships that forged strength. You must create these conditions deliberately. Sleep on a harder mattress. Sit on the floor instead of the couch. Fast regularly. Your body will resist. This resistance is the point. Physical discomfort trains mental toughness. Hold difficult poses. Take cold walks. Maintain perfect posture when tired. Each physical challenge is really a mental challenge in disguise. Master the art of non-reaction. When discomfort arises, notice your instant urge to escape it. This urge is your true opponent. Learn to sit with discomfort like a mountain sits. With storms, your emotions require similar training. When anxiety rises, don't seek instant relief. When sadness comes, don't run to distractions. Feel fully. This is emotional warrior training. Understand this. Every comfort you create becomes a necessity you fear losing. Every discomfort you embrace becomes a power that cannot be taken from you. Choose your dependencies wisely. Start here. For 1. Week, choose the harder path in small things. The longer walk, the earlier wake-up, the difficult conversation. Notice how each tiny victory strengthens your resolve. Remember, the goal is not to eliminate comfort, but to become independent of it. To be able to function at full capacity regardless of external conditions. This is true warrior freedom. Your training must be progressive. Begin with small discomforts and gradually increase the challenge. Like a sword being repeatedly folded and hammered, each exposure to stress makes you stronger, because when you master discomfort, you master fear itself. When you embrace hardship, you become truly unstoppable. No circumstance can break a warrior who has made peace with discomfort. Let others seek constant comfort. Let them remain soft, afraid, dependent. You walk the warrior's path, where voluntary hardship forges involuntary strength, where temporary discomfort creates permanent power. Practice without emotion. Watch a novice practice with the sword. See how his face contorts with effort, how his movements surge with enthusiasm or lag with frustration, how every success brings pride, every failure brings shame. This is not the way of the warrior. In my 60 duels, I learned that emotion is like clouds before the moon. It obscures clear vision. The warrior who swings his sword in anger will find only defeat. The one who strikes with fear will meet what he fears. Even excitement becomes a poison to perfect practice. Look at how emotion rules your practice now. You train hard when motivated, rest when unmotivated. You work with intensity when inspired, slack when uninspired. You study with focus when interested, wander when bored. This inconsistency is weakness. First, understand this principle. The quality of your practice must be independent of your emotional state. Like the moon remains constant behind the clouds, your discipline must remain steady behind your feelings. Begin with this understanding. Emotions are weather. They pass. They change. They are not you. Your practice, like a sword's edge, must cut clean regardless of the weather. This is the heart of warrior discipline. Learn to recognize emotional interference in your practice. Excitement makes you rush. Fear makes you hesitate. Pride makes you sloppy. Shame makes you tight. Each emotion distorts perfect action, like a warped blade distorts perfect cuts. Practice this, the emotion audit. Before each training session, each work period, each study time, notice your emotional state. Not to change it, not to judge it, simply to recognize it. Then practice anyway, with perfect form. Your emotions will try to bargain with you. They will present convincing arguments for why today is different, why now is not the time, why this once doesn't matter. A warrior recognizes these as the whispers of weakness. Understanding this, perfect practice has no drama. It requires no motivation. It needs no inspiration. Like breathing, it simply is. This is what you must cultivate, practice as natural, and necessary as drawing breath. When you sit to work, work. When you stand to train, train. When you begin to study, study. No emotional preparation needed. No psychological runway required. Action without hesitation. Practice without permission. Learn to find power in boredom. Most abandon practice when it becomes monotonous, not realizing that monotony is the forge of mastery. The warrior welcomes tedium as a test of true discipline. Your practice must be like the falling of snow, constant, quiet, accumulating. No single flake matters, no single day matters. It is the steady accumulation that creates transformative power. Practice this, the form of no form. When emotions arise, during practice, and they will arise, neither fight them nor follow them. Let them pass like clouds while you continue your work, unmoved and unwavering. Understand the difference between emotionless practice and joyless practice. You can feel joy while practicing, but your practice must not depend on joy. You can feel satisfaction in your work, but your work must not require satisfaction. Master the art of showing up, not showing up inspired, not showing up motivated, just showing up day after day regardless of emotional weather. This consistency is worth more than any intensity. Your practice schedule must be like a sword's edge, absolute, not I'll practice when I feel ready, but I practice at this time. Not I'll work when inspired, but I work now. Emotions follow action, not the other way around. Start here. Choose one daily practice, something small but significant. Commit to performing it at the same time each day, regardless of how you feel. Watch your emotions protest. Watch them negotiate. Practice anyway. Remember, this is not about suppressing emotions. Feel them fully, but do not let them command your practice. They are guests in your house, not masters of your discipline, because when you master emotional independence in practice, you master it in life. When you learn to act clearly regardless of feeling, you become truly unstoppable. Let others wait for motivation. Let them depend on inspiration. Let them ride the waves of emotion. You stand like a mountain, practicing, working, training, regardless of the weather of your heart. 1,000 cuts, the repetition of mastery in the darkness before dawn. A lone swordsman performs the same cut for the 1,000th time. To the untrained eye, this appears madness. To the warrior, this is the only path to true mastery. I have cut the same stroke 10,000 times. I have practiced the same foot movement until the ground beneath wore away, not from lack of creativity, but from understanding. Mastery lives in the realm of repetition. Look at how your modern world fears repetition. You see constant novelty, endless variation, perpetual stimulation. Innovation has become your war cry. But true innovation, true mastery, grows from the deep soil of repeated practice. First, understand this principle. The fundamental techniques of any discipline require not hundreds, but thousands of repetitions to master, not to learn. Learning is easy. Mastery is different. Mastery is in your bones. Begin with this truth. 10,000 cuts. This is not a metaphor. This is the minimum number of repetitions required to own a movement, to make it truly yours. Whether it's a sword stroke, a keyboard shortcut, or a business practice, 10,000 times. The warrior understands that repetition is not monotony. Each repetition is a new universe, a fresh exploration. Like waves on a shore, always the same, always different. This is the mindset that transforms boring practice into fascinating mastery. Learn this discipline, the count. Choose one fundamental movement in your craft. Count your repetitions. Not approximately, exactly. 1,000 push-ups, 1,000 keyboard shortcuts, 1,000 sales calls. Numbers do not lie. Your mind will rebel against this practice. It will demand variety, promise that you've got it after 100 repetitions, insist that this is waste of time. These are the voices of mediocrity. A warrior does not heed them. Practice this. Single technique days. One day, one movement, nothing else. Feel how this concentration intensifies your understanding. Watch how deeper insights emerge from narrower focus. Understand the stages of repetition. First comes mechanical understanding, then comes smooth execution, then comes ownership, then finally comes transcendence, where the technique disappears and only pure action remains. Your body learns through repetition what your mind cannot grasp through thought. Your muscles develop an intelligence beyond intellect. Your nervous system rewrites itself through consistent practice. This cannot be rushed. Learn to love the plateau. Those long periods where nothing seems to improve, where practice feels futile. This is where most quit. This is also where mastery is forged. The plateau is not your enemy. It is your proving ground. Master the art of mindful repetition. Each movement must be performed with full attention, full intention. 1,000 mindless repetitions create deeply ingrained flaws. 1,000 mindful repetitions create perfection. Your practice must be like water dripping on stone. No single drop matters. No single day shows progress. But over time, the stone changes. Over time, mastery emerges. Understand this. True innovation comes only after deep mastery of fundamentals. You cannot create new forms until you have embodied the old forms. You cannot transcend technique until technique has become your nature. Start here. Choose one fundamental movement in your field. Commit to 1,000 repetitions, not in one day, not in 1 week, but counted, tracked, completed. Feel the difference between intellectual understanding and embodied knowing. Remember, this is not about achieving perfection. It is about the process of perfecting. Each repetition takes you closer to your true capacity, reveals another layer of understanding. Your practice must be systematic. Log your numbers, track your progress, not from ego, but from respect for the process. A warrior knows exactly where he stands in his training. Modern life resists this kind of dedicated repetition. It will offer you shortcuts, hacks, quick fixes. Ignore them. The path to mastery has not changed since ancient times. It requires the same patience, the same dedication, the same thousands of cuts. Because when you master the art of repetition, you master the fundamental secret of all achievement. When you embrace the 1,000 cuts, you transcend the need for motivation, for inspiration, for variety. Let others chase novelty. Let them skip from technique to technique, from practice to practice. You walk the warrior's path, where single-minded dedication to fundamental movements creates extraordinary power. Never idle. The practice of movement, observe a stagnant pond. See how it grows murky, how life within it weakens, how its very stillness becomes its poison. Now observe a flowing river. Even in its quiet moments it moves. Even in its depths it flows. This is the way of the warrior. I have known warriors who could remain still as stone in battle, yet never truly stopped moving in peace. This seems a paradox until you understand. True stillness is not the absence of movement, but the perfection of movement. Even in rest, the warrior flows. Look at how modern life has made you still. Hours in chairs, days behind screens, weeks without true movement. You call it efficiency, you call it work. But your body knows the truth. This stillness is death by degrees. First, understand this principle. Movement is life. Not just exercise, not just training, but constant, purposeful motion. The warrior's body is like his sword. It must move to maintain its edge. Begin with this practice, the 5-minute rule. Never remain completely still for more than 5 minutes when awake. Shift positions, stretch, walk. Small movements matter. This is not about exercise. It is about maintaining flow. Learn to recognize false stillness. Scrolling on your phone while sitting is not movement. Standing still while watching television is not movement. The body must flow, must shift, must maintain its vital connection to life. Practice this. Movement transitions. Between tasks, move deliberately. Don't just stand, stretch. Don't just walk with purpose. Every transition is an opportunity for movement, for maintaining your edge. Your body was designed for motion. Your ancestors moved constantly, hunting, gathering, building, fighting. Your muscles, your joints, your nervous system all cry out for movement. Answer them. Understand the difference between mindless fidgeting and purposeful movement. A warrior's movements have intention, have meaning. Even small gestures, a shoulder roll, a spine twist, a deep breath should serve a purpose. Master the art of active rest. When you must be still, in meetings, in study, In contemplation, incorporate micro-movements. Engage your core, adjust your posture, keep energy flowing through your body like water through a river. Learn to work in motion, walk while you think, stand while you read, stretch while you listen. Modern life tries to pin you in place. Resist this. Find ways to inject movement into every task. Your environment must support movement. Create spaces that encourage flow. Standing desk, floor cushions, walking paths. Your space should make stillness the awkward choice and movement the natural state. Practice movement awareness. Throughout the day, scan your body. Where are you stagnant? Where are you flowing? This consciousness itself creates change, creates motion, creates life. Understand this. Energy follows movement. Movement generates energy. When you feel tired, move. When you feel stuck, move. When you feel stagnant, move. This is ancient wisdom that modern science now confirms. Start here. Create movement triggers. Every phone call becomes a walking call. Every hour marks a movement break. Every task completion signals a stretch session. Build motion into the fabric of your day. Remember, this is not about exercise. This is not about fitness. This is about maintaining the warrior's connection to life itself through constant purposeful motion. Your rest must be active rest. Even in recovery, maintain flow, gentle stretching, slow walking, mindful breathing. The warrior never completely stops. He shifts between forms of movement. Learn the practice of perpetual readiness. Your body should be always prepared to move, to act, to respond. This readiness comes not from tension, but from constant flowing motion. Modern comfort tries to seduce you into stillness. Soft chairs, entertainment screens, delivery services. Each convenience that reduces movement also reduces life force. Choose movement instead, because when you master perpetual motion, you master the art of staying alive, truly alive, not just existing. When you embrace constant flow, you transcend the modern disease of stagnation. Let others remain still. Let them grow stiff and dull in their comfort. You walk the warrior's path where movement is life, where flow is strength, where constant motion forges constant power. Your body is your primary weapon, your fundamental tool. Keep it sharp through movement. Keep it strong through flow. Keep it ready through constant purposeful motion. This is the way of the warrior, never truly still, never truly stagnant, always flowing like the river that carves its way through stone. Train in all things. Watch a novice warrior. See how he thinks training happens only in the dojo, only with the sword, only in designated practice times. Now watch a master. To him, every moment is the dojo. Every object is the sword. Every action is practice. In my years of study, I learned that the difference between good and great lies not in formal training, but in the spaces between, how you hold your chopsticks, how you open a door, how you sit in silence. These seemingly small moments forge the warrior's spirit. Look at how you divide your life now. This is practice. This is real. This is training. This is just daily life. These divisions are illusions. To the warrior, all of life is training. Every moment is a chance to strengthen or weaken your spirit. First, understand this principle. Training never stops. Every action either reinforces discipline or reinforces weakness. There is no neutral ground. There are no meaningless moments. Begin with morning ritual. The way you rise from bed is practice. The way you wash your face is practice. The way you dress is practice. Bring full attention to these small actions. They are forging your warrior spirit. Learn to recognize training opportunities in mundane tasks. Washing dishes becomes an exercise in presence. Commuting becomes practice in patience. Waiting in line becomes training in stillness. These are not metaphors. They are real practice. Practice this, the everyday tea ceremony. Choose one daily routine, making coffee, preparing breakfast, cleaning your desk. Perform it with the same attention you would give to formal martial arts. Notice how this transforms both the action and the actor. Your daily movements are your most constant training: how you stand, how you walk, how you breathe. These actions, repeated thousands of times, shape you more powerfully than any occasional, formal practice. Understand the principle of full engagement. Whether lifting weights or lifting a pen, bring your complete attention. Whether in combat or in conversation, maintain total presence. The intensity of engagement matters more than the nature of the activity. Master the art of mindful communication. Every conversation is training in clarity. Every email is practice in precision. Every interaction is an opportunity to strengthen or weaken your warrior presence. Learn to eat like a warrior, not just what you eat, but how you eat. Every meal is training in discipline, in awareness, in respect for resources. There is no just grabbing lunch. There is only practice. Your work, whatever it may be, must become your dojo. Every task is an opportunity for mastery. Every challenge is a chance for warrior spirit to emerge. A warrior makes no distinction between important and unimportant work, only between present and absent practice. Practice the art of transitional awareness. The moments between tasks are not empty. They are opportunities. How you close one door and open another. How you end one meeting and begin another. These transitions reveal and refine your warrior nature. Understand this. Every object you touch is a training tool. The weight of your phone can train presence. The curve of your steering wheel can practice grip. The height of your chair can develop posture. See the practice potential in everything. Start here. Choose one ordinary action you perform daily. Bring to it the same intensity you would bring to martial arts training. Do this for a week. Notice how it transforms both the action and your approach to all other actions. Remember, this is not about turning life into a burden of constant self-consciousness. It is about recognizing the training potential in every moment, the practice possible in every action. Your rest becomes training in recovery. Your sleep becomes practice in surrender. Your recreation becomes exercise in balanced living. Nothing is outside the scope of warrior practice. Learn to maintain form in chaos. When stressed, when rushed, when tired, these are the moments that reveal your true level of training. Anyone can maintain form in perfect conditions. A warrior maintains it in all conditions. Modern life separates practice from reality. It creates artificial divisions between training and living. Reject these divisions. Every breath is practice. Every step is training. Every moment is the dojo, because when you train in all things, you transform all things into strength. When you practice in every moment, you turn your entire life into a forge for warrior spirit. Let others separate practice from life. Let them think training happens only in special times and places. You walk the warrior's path, where every action is practice, every moment is training, every breath is an opportunity for mastery. Detach from outcome, commit to process. Watch a young archer. See how his eyes fix desperately on the target, how his body tenses with the need to succeed, how each miss brings frustration, each hit brings relief. Now, watch the master. His focus is not on the target, but on the form. Not on the future, but on the present. This is the way of the warrior. In my duels, I learned that the swordsman who fights for victory has already lost. The one who fights for perfect form, for pure expression of the art, becomes unstoppable. Your battlefield may be different, but this truth remains unchanged. Look at how you cling to outcomes now. The promotion you must have, the recognition you need, the results you demand. This attachment is not strength, it is weakness. It clouds your vision and disturbs your action. First, understand this principle. The outcome is not in your control. The process is. When you commit fully to the process while detaching from the outcome, you achieve a power that outcome-focused warriors never know. Begin with this practice, the purposeless practice. Choose one skill to train today. Not to achieve anything, not to prove anything, not to reach any goal, simply to express the pure form of the action. Feel how this shifts your entire approach. Learn to recognize outcome attachment. Notice how it creates tension in your body, anxiety in your mind, hesitation in your actions. These are the chains you must break to find true warrior freedom. Practice this, the process diary. Each day record only your adherence to process, not results, not achievements, not outcomes. Did you follow your form? Did you maintain your discipline? Did you execute your practice? Nothing else matters. Your mind will rebel against this teaching. It will demand guarantees. It will crave certainty. It will insist that without attachment to outcome, you will become lazy, lose drive, fail to achieve. These are the lies that keep warriors trapped in mediocrity. Understand the paradox. When you release your grip on outcomes, your performance improves. When you stop demanding results, results come naturally. When you focus purely on process, outcomes take care of themselves. Master the art of present action. Each movement, each decision, each moment, make it pure, make it complete. Make it perfect in form, regardless of what it may or may not achieve. This is the path to extraordinary achievement. Learn to find joy in the process itself, not in what it might bring you, not in where it might lead, but in the pure expression of disciplined action. This is not a technique. It is a complete transformation. Of how you approach life, your training must become like breathing, natural, necessary, unattached to outcome. You don't breathe to achieve something. You breathe because it is what you do. Your practice must reach this same level of essential. Action. Practice the art of non-attachment in small things first. Clean your space not to have a clean space, but to express the perfect form of cleaning. Exercise not for results, but for the pure expression of movement. Build from these small detachments to larger ones. Understand this. Attachment to outcome creates fear. Fear creates tension. Tension creates weakness. Only in the release of outcome can you find the relaxed precision that true mastery requires. Start here. In your next action, any action, focus entirely on form, on process, on the pure expression of the movement. Notice how this changes the quality of your action. Notice how this shifts your entire experience. Remember, this is not about becoming passive. It is not about abandoning ambition. It is about finding a deeper source of power, one that flows from perfect action rather than desperate seeking. Your goals remain. Your direction remains. But they become like the North Star, guides for your journey, not desperate needs that disturb your peace. The warrior walks his path with absolute commitment, but no attachment. Learn to celebrate process victories, not the promotion, but the perfect presentation. Not the win, but the well-fought match. Not the outcome, but the impeccable execution. This shifts your focus from what you cannot control to what you can. Modern life fixates on outcomes, on results, on achievements. This creates a culture of anxiety, of desperate striving, of never enough. The warrior's way offers a different path, one of power through detachment, of achievement through release. Because when you master the art of process over outcome, you master life itself. When you learn to act without attachment, you become truly unstoppable. Not because you must win, but because you have already won in the perfect expression of your action. Let others chase outcomes. Let them live in anxiety about results. Let them remain slaves to achievement. You walk the warrior's path, where perfect action is its own reward, where process mastery creates outcome mastery, where detachment leads to true power. The warrior keeps no score. Observe the young warrior who notches his sword after each victory, who counts his wins, who measures himself against others, who seeks constant validation of his progress. Now observe the master, who fights as if each battle were his first and last, unconcerned with record or reputation. This is the difference between a warrior and a mere fighter. In my lifetime of duels, I learned that keeping score is a poison that corrupts true mastery. The moment you begin counting victories, you become a slave to numbers, to comparison, to the hollow validation of achievement. This weakness ends today. Look at how you keep score now. Social media followers, performance reviews, salary comparisons, achievement lists. Each measurement becomes a chain that binds you, a weight that drags you from true warrior presence. First, understand this principle. The warrior who keeps score remains forever a prisoner of his past achievements or failures. True power lives only in this moment, unconcerned with what came before or what might come after. Begin with this practice, the scoreless day. For one full day, abandon all measurement. No checking stats, no comparing progress, no rating performance. Simply act with full presence, unburdened by the weight of evaluation. Learn to recognize the subtle ways you keep score, the mental tallying of compliments, the constant checking of metrics, the silent comparison with peers. Each of these is a thread in the net that traps your warrior spirit. Practice this, the art of forgotten achievement. When you accomplish something, let it go completely. Don't record it. Don't share it. Don't revisit it. Feel how this frees you to remain present, to continue growing without the burden of past success. Your ego will resist this teaching fiercely. It will demand recognition. It will insist on keeping track. It will fear being forgotten or undervalued. These are the voices of weakness, not strength. A true warrior's power needs no record-keeping. Understand the difference between measurement for adjustment and measurement for validation. The first serves growth. The second serves ego. Learn to recognize and eliminate all measurements that do not directly serve your practice. Master the art of invisible progress. Like a tree growing in the forest, concern yourself only with reaching toward the light, not with how your growth compares to others. True progress needs no witnesses. Learn to find satisfaction in the action itself, not in its record. When you shoot an arrow, let it be perfect for its own sake, not for the score it might achieve. When you complete a task, let its excellence be its own reward. Your practice must become like the ocean, endless waves of effort, each one perfect, each one forgotten as the next arrives. No wave keeps score. No wave compares itself to other waves. This is pure action, uninhibited by measurement. Practice the art of letting go of achievements. Each victory, each failure, each milestone, acknowledge it briefly, then release it completely. Don't let past success become a cage that limits future growth. Understand this. The need to keep score comes from insecurity, from the need to prove your worth. A warrior's worth is in his presence, his action, his being, not in his record. Start here. Delete one measure of progress from your life. One metric you check regularly, one comparison you make habitually. Feel the freedom this creates. Notice how it shifts your focus to pure action. Remember, this is not about avoiding feedback or ignoring reality. It is about freeing yourself from the psychological prison of constant measurement, constant comparison, constant scorekeeping. Your worth as a warrior cannot be measured. Your progress cannot be truly quantified. The moment you try to measure these things, you diminish them. Focus instead on the purity of your practice, the quality of your presence. Learn to recognize the toxic nature of comparison. Whether comparing yourself to others or to your past self, these measurements create only tension, only limitation. A warrior flows like water, unconcerned with how other waters flow. Modern culture celebrates scorekeeping, likes, views, ratings, rankings, endless measurements that create endless suffering. The warrior's way offers freedom from this matrix of comparison because when you stop keeping score, you start truly living. When you release the need to measure, you find immeasurable power. When you abandon comparison, you discover incomparable strength. Let others maintain their scorecards. Let them remain trapped in the cycle of measurement and comparison. You walk the warrior's path, where each moment is complete in itself, where True power needs no validation where excellence exists without evidence. Face death. Every day before each duel, I would wash my face and comb my hair as if preparing for my own funeral, not from morbidity, but from clarity. When you truly understand that each day might be your last, each moment becomes sharp as a sword's edge. Modern humans run from death. They hide it behind euphemisms, tuck it away in hospitals, pretend it is always distant. But a warrior knows better. Death is not your enemy. It is your advisor. It is not your fear. It is your teacher. Look at how you live now, as if immortal. Postponing essential conversations, delaying important actions, wasting precious hours, as if you had infinite hours to waste. This illusion of endless time is killing your warrior spirit one day at a time. First, understand this principle. Death is not in the future. Death walks with you now, in this moment, in every moment. Not as a shadow to fear, but as a companion that brings clarity, urgency, and purpose to every action. Begin with this practice, the morning death meditation. Each dawn, take 5 minutes to contemplate your mortality, not with fear, not with sadness, but with clear awareness. This day could be your last. Feel how this transforms your approach to the coming hours. Learn to recognize the signs of death avoidance, the endless distractions, the meaningless activities, the postponed dreams. Each of these is a way of hiding from the most fundamental truth of existence, its impermanence. Practice this. The evening review. Before sleep, ask yourself, if this were my last day, would I be satisfied with how I lived it? Not to create guilt, but to sharpen awareness, to refine choices, to bring warrior intensity to tomorrow. Your plans must be like a samurai's sword strokes, decisive, clear, unburdened by the illusion of endless time. When you truly understand, death procrastination becomes impossible. There is only now. There is only this moment. Understand the difference between death awareness and death anxiety. One brings clarity and power. The other brings paralysis and fear. A warrior uses death as a lens to focus life, not as a shadow to dim it. Master the art of living as if already dead, not in a morbid sense, but in the sense of complete freedom. When you have fully accepted your mortality, what is there to fear? What is there to lose? This is the ultimate warrior's liberation. Learn to feel death in small endings, the end of each breath, the end of each day, the end of each conversation. These mini deaths prepare you for the great death, teach you the art of graceful completion. Your relationships must be informed by death awareness. Speak to your loved ones as if this were your last meeting. Listen as if you might never hear their voice again. This is not anxiety, it is presence. This is not fear, it is love. Practice the art of death cleaning. Regularly ask, what would I leave behind? What mess would others have to sort through? Live clean, live clear, live ready. A warrior's life should be in order at any moment. Understand this. Death awareness brings life awareness. When you fully grasp your mortality, every moment becomes precious. Every action becomes significant. Every choice becomes clear. Start here. Choose one thing you've been postponing until later. Do it today, not because you might die tomorrow, but because this moment is all you truly have. This is how death awareness becomes life empowerment. Remember, this practice is not about becoming morbid or fearful. It is about becoming fully alive, fully present, fully engaged through the crystal clear awareness of life's temporary nature. Your decisions must be made in death's clarifying light. Ask yourself, on my deathbed, will this have mattered? This question cuts through confusion like a blade through fog, revealing what truly deserves your warrior's attention. Learn to live without regret, not by avoiding mistakes, but by living so fully, so intentionally, that even mistakes become perfect expressions of your warrior's journey. Death teaches us that regret is a waste of our limited time. Modern culture sells immortality dreams, Endless. Youth, endless entertainment, endless distraction. A warrior knows better, embraces better, lives better through the acceptance of life's temporary nature. Because when you master death awareness, you master life itself. When you face mortality daily, you find immortality in each moment. When you accept death as teacher, you learn to live as few ever do. Let others hide from death. Let them live in the illusion of endless time. Let them postpone their truth, their power, their purpose. You walk the warrior's path, where death is not an end to fear, but a light that shows the way to fully living, the discipline of observation. Watch a novice enter a room. See how his eyes dart aimlessly, seeing everything and nothing. Now watch a warrior enter. His gaze is calm yet total, missing nothing, judging everything. This is not a gift. It is a discipline. In my duels, I learned that the battle is often won before the sword leaves its scabbard. The warrior who truly sees, who reads the terrain, who notices the subtle shift of weight, who feels the wind's direction, has already claimed victory. Look at how you observe now, glancing instead of seeing, hearing instead of listening, touching instead of feeling. Your senses have become dull, your awareness clouded. You move through life half-blind, and this makes you vulnerable. First, understand this principle. True observation is not passive. It is an active engagement with your environment, a constant reading of the world's text, a warrior's fundamental skill. Begin with this practice. The room scan. When you enter any space, pause. Take 3 breaths. Notice exits. Notice objects. Notice people, not with paranoia, but with clear awareness. Make this automatic, like a swordmaster's ready stance. Learn to recognize different levels of observation. Surface seeing, mere shapes and colors. Middle seeing, movement and patterns. Deep seeing, intentions and energies. A warrior must master all 3. Practice this. The morning sense ritual. Each morning, spend 1 minute focusing on each sense separately. Really see the morning light. Really hear the early sounds. Really feel the air on your skin. This builds your sensory foundation. Your observation must be like a still pond, reflecting everything, disturbed by nothing. No judgment, no reaction, just pure awareness. This state allows you to see what others miss, to know what others ignore. Understand the difference between looking and seeing. Looking is passive, automatic, unconscious. Seeing is active, intentional, aware. A warrior's eyes are always seeing, even when they appear to be merely looking. Master the art of peripheral awareness. While others focus narrowly, develop the ability to maintain wide awareness. Like a sword master who sees the whole battlefield while engaging a single opponent. Learn to read patterns. In nature, in people, in situations. Everything has its rhythm, its tell, its underlying structure. The warrior who sees patterns sees the future unfolding before others grasp the present. Your observation must extend beyond the visual. Learn to read a room with all your senses, the tension in the air, the subtle sounds, the unseen currents of energy and intention. This is the full spectrum of warrior awareness. Practice the art of people reading, not through judgment or assumption, but through pure observation, how they hold themselves, how they move, how they occupy space. These tell the truth that words often hide. Understand this. Every environment is speaking to you. The placement of objects, the flow of movement, the patterns of light and shadow. Learn to read these messages. They contain information critical to the warrior's path. Start here. Choose one daily environment, your workspace, your home, your commute route. Observe it as if for the first time. Notice what you've been missing. Notice what you've been ignoring. This is the beginning of true seeing. Remember, this is not about developing paranoia or hypervigilance. It is about cultivating clear, calm awareness. The warrior sees all but remains peaceful, notices everything but stays centered. Your observation must include self-observation. Watch your own patterns, your own movements, your own reactions. This internal awareness is as crucial as external observation. Learn to see what is not there, the empty spaces, the missing elements, the unspoken words. Often what is absent tells more than what is present. This is advanced warrior wisdom. Modern life conspires against true observation. Screens demand your focus. Notifications fracture your attention. Media overwhelms your senses. A warrior must learn to see through and beyond these distractions. Practice. The art of timeless observation. Notice how things change. Watch the slow movement of shadows, the gradual shift of seasons, the subtle aging of all things. This develops depth in your awareness. Your observation must be free from prejudice. Don't see what you expect to see. Don't look for what you want to find. See what is actually there. This is harder than it sounds and more powerful than you. Imagine, because when you master the discipline of observation, you master the art of preparation. When you learn to truly see, you can never be truly surprised. When you develop full awareness, you develop full readiness. Let others move through life half blind. Let them remain unaware, unseeing, unprepared. You walk the warrior's path, where every moment is an opportunity for observation, where every environment is a text to be read, where awareness itself becomes a form of power. Do nothing that is useless. Watch a beginner practice with the sword. See how many movements are wasted, flourishes that serve no purpose, gestures that add no power, motions that only drain energy. Now watch the master. Every movement cuts. Every action serves. Nothing is wasted. I have learned through countless battles that the difference between life and death often lies not in what you do, but in what you don't do. The unnecessary movement, the extra step, the wasted energy, these are the gaps through which defeat enters. Look at your life now. Count the useless actions that fill your days, the pointless meetings, the empty conversations, the mindless scrolling, the redundant efforts. Each of these is a leak in your warrior's power, a crack in your armor of purpose. First, understand this principle. Every action must cut. Like a sword stroke, each movement, each word, each effort must serve a clear purpose. Anything else is not just useless, it is harmful. Begin with this practice, the utility audit. For one day, question every action. What purpose does this serve? What value does this create? What goal does this advance? Be ruthless in eliminating the unnecessary. Learn to recognize the many faces of useless action. Sometimes it wears the mask of busyness. Sometimes it disguises itself as tradition. Sometimes it hides behind the phrase, "This is how we've always done it." Strip away these masks. Practice this, the essential path. Before any action, ask 3 questions. Is this necessary? Is this efficient? Is this effective? If the answer to any is no, find a better way or do not act at all. Your time is like a blade's edge. It can only cut what it directly contacts. When you spend time on useless actions, you dull this edge. Every moment spent on the unnecessary is a moment stolen from the essential. Understand the difference between efficient and effective. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right things. A warrior must master both, but effectiveness always comes first. Master the art of elimination. Before adding new practices, new tools, new commitments, first cut away what doesn't serve. Addition by subtraction. This is the warrior's path to greater power. Learn to find the essential core of every task. Strip away decoration. Remove redundancy. Eliminate hesitation. What remains is pure purpose, pure action, pure power. Your decisions must pass the blade test. If this choice were a sword stroke, would it cut clean? Would it serve its purpose? Would it justify the energy invested? If not, it is useless. Let it go. Practice the art of minimal movement. In every task, find the shortest path between intention and completion. Not by rushing, but by removing everything that does not serve the purpose. Understand this: useless action is not just inefficient, it is dangerous. It creates noise that drowns signal. It breeds confusion that clouds purpose. It wastes energy. that could fuel victory. Start here. Choose one daily routine. Examine it with warrior's eyes. Find the waste. Find the unnecessary. Find the useless. Cut it away without mercy. Feel how this creates clarity, power, purpose. Remember, this is not about becoming a machine. It is about becoming pure purpose. Not about eliminating joy, but about ensuring every action, even joy, serves your warrior's path. Your speech must follow this principle. Cut away empty words. Eliminate meaningless phrases. Speak pure purpose or maintain noble silence. Let every word serve like a well-honed blade. Learn to recognize the cost of useless action. Every unnecessary meeting drains warrior spirit. Every redundant task weakens resolve. Every empty gesture reduces power. These are not small things. They are death by 1,000 cuts. Modern life celebrates waste. It encourages unnecessary complexity. It rewards useless action. The warrior must stand against this tide, must maintain the discipline of pure utility, because when you eliminate the useless, you amplify the essential. When you cut away waste, you reveal power. When you serve only purpose, you become purpose itself. Let others fill their lives with empty actions. Let them waste their blade on cutting air. Let them drain their power through 1,000 useless acts. You walk the warrior's path where every movement serves, where every action cuts, where nothing is wasted and everything is power. Defeat the spirit of indecision. Watch a blade hesitate mid-strike. See how it loses power, loses purpose, becomes worse than useless. This is what indecision does to the warrior's spirit. Each moment of hesitation is a small death. Each pause in purpose, a defeat before battle begins. In my years of combat, I learned that the decisive stroke, even if imperfect, triumphs over the perfect stroke that comes too late. The warrior who defeats himself through hesitation never gets the chance to face his true opponent. Look at how indecision infects your life now. The morning hesitation before rising, the wavering between choices, the postponed decisions that poison your peace. Each moment of uncertainty is a victory for weakness, a defeat for your warrior spirit. First, understand this principle. Decision is a blade that cuts through doubt. The quality of the decision is often less important than the clarity and finality with which it is made. Begin with this practice, the instant morning. When you wake, rise immediately. No hesitation, no negotiation, no gradual transition. This small act of decisive movement trains your spirit for greater decisions. Learn to recognize the many masks of indecision: analysis paralysis, perfectionism, over-preparation, waiting for the perfect moment. These are not wisdom, they are fear wearing the costume of prudence. Practice this, the 5-second rule. When faced with a decision, give yourself 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, not 5 hours, 5 seconds to commit to a path. Feel how this energizes your warrior spirit. Your mind will create elaborate justifications for delay. It will call hesitation a thorough planning. It will name indecision careful consideration. See through these deceptions. They serve fear, not strength. Understand the difference between recklessness and decisiveness. Recklessness ignores consequences. Decisiveness acknowledges them but doesn't let them become paralysis. A warrior is decisive, never reckless. Master the art of the clean cut. When you decide, decide completely. No half measures, no backup plans that become escape routes, no leaving doors open that should be closed. Cut clean, cut complete. Learn to trust your trained instincts. Like a swordsman whose body moves before thought, your decisions must flow from deep training, not endless deliberation. The time for thought is in preparation, not in execution. Your decisions must be like sword strikes, committed, powerful, unstoppable once begun. Hesitation mid-strike doesn't make the strike better, it makes it weak. Hesitation mid-decision doesn't make the decision wiser, it makes it ineffective. Practice the art of rapid assessment. Train yourself to gather essential information quickly. See the key factors. Identify the crucial elements. Then act. Perfect information is an illusion that feeds indecision. Understand this. Every moment of indecision carries a cost. Energy drains, opportunities pass, spirit weakens. These are not small losses. They accumulate into major defeats. Start here. Identify one decision you've been postponing. Not the biggest one, not the most important one, just one decision that needs to be made. Make it now, not later today. Not after more thought. Now, remember, this is not about making thoughtless choices. It is about making clear choices, unburdened by the weight of endless deliberation. The warrior thinks deeply, then acts decisively. Your preparation must be thorough, but your execution must be immediate. Like a swordmaster who trains endlessly but strikes without hesitation, prepare fully but act instantly when the moment comes. Learn to recognize the sweet spot between preparation and action. There is a moment when more preparation becomes procrastination, when more analysis becomes avoidance. The warrior knows this moment and acts on it. Modern life encourages indecision, endless options, infinite information, constant second-guessing. The warrior must stand against this tide, must maintain the ability to choose and act with clarity. Because when you master decisiveness, you master time itself. When you defeat hesitation, you claim the power that indecision steals. When you act with clarity, you become unstoppable. Let others waver. Let them hesitate. Let them wait for perfect conditions that never come. You walk the warrior's path, where decisions are made with clarity, where actions flow without hesitation, where purpose moves with unstoppable force. Control your emotions, master your reactions, watch an untrained fighter when struck. See how anger flares, how fear rises, how emotion clouds judgment and destroys technique. Now watch a master take the same hit. Notice the calm, the clarity, the controlled response that turns attack into opportunity. In my duels, I learned that the most dangerous opponent is not the one across from you, but the one inside you. Your own unchecked emotions can defeat you more surely than any external enemy. Look at how emotions control your actions now. A criticism triggers defensiveness. A challenge sparks anger. A setback breeds fear. Each emotional reaction is a string that others can pull to puppet your behavior. First, understand this principle. Emotions are like weather. They will come and go. But a warrior's responses must be like the mountains, unchanging, unshakable, rooted in deeper truth. Begin with this practice, the pause. Between stimulus and response, insert a breath, just one conscious breath. This small space is where mastery lives, where reaction can become response, where emotion can become strategy. Learn to recognize emotional triggers. These are the buttons others can press to control you. Each triggered reaction is a weakness in your armor, a gap in your defense. Identify them, study them, master them. Practice this, the emotion journal. For 1 week, record every strong emotional reaction. What triggered it? How did you respond? What would mastery have looked like? This awareness is the foundation of control. Your emotions will try to justify themselves. Anger will claim righteousness. Fear will demand attention. Pride will insist on satisfaction. See these for what they are, attempts by the lower self to commandeer your warrior spirit. Understand the difference between feeling and being controlled by emotions. A warrior feels deeply, but is not controlled by those feelings, like a swordmaster who uses the momentum of an attack to create advantage. Master the art of emotional distance. Learn to observe your feelings as if they belong to another, not to suppress them, but to choose your response to them. This is the heart of emotional mastery. Learn to find the space between emotion and action. In this space lies your power. In this gap between feeling and doing lies your warrior's choice. Expand this space through constant practice. Your responses must become like well-practiced sword forms, clean, precise, purposeful. not the wild swings of emotional reaction, but the controlled movements of strategic choice. Practice the art of emotional redirection. Like a martial artist who uses an attacker's energy, learn to use emotional energy without being controlled by it. Transform anger into intensity, fear into focus, pride into precision. Understand this: each emotional reaction that controls you is a defeat. Each triggered response is a battle lost before it begins. Each time you let feelings dictate actions, you surrender your warrior's power. Start here. Choose one common emotional trigger, not your biggest, not your most challenging, just one regular trigger. Practice responding rather than reacting to it. Make this your first victory in emotional mastery. Remember, this is not about becoming emotionless. It is about becoming emotion-wise, not about suppressing feelings, but about choosing what to do with them. The warrior feels fully but acts clearly. Your training must include emotional stress testing. Put yourself in challenging situations. Face difficult conversations. Enter uncomfortable environments. Then practice maintaining your center. Learn to recognize the physical signs of emotional reaction. Tension in the body, changes in breathing, shifts in posture. These physical tells preview emotional reactions. Catch them early, maintain control. Modern life is designed to trigger emotions. Media, marketing, social networks all aim to provoke. Reaction over response. The warrior must maintain sovereignty over their emotional kingdom. Practice emotional preparation. Before entering any situation, set your emotional baseline. Like a sword master choosing his stance before battle, choose your emotional position before engagement. Your power lies not in avoiding emotional triggers, but in mastering your response to them. Each trigger becomes a training ground. Each provocation becomes practice. Each challenge becomes an opportunity for mastery. Because when you control your emotions, you control the battlefield of life. When you master your reactions, you master your destiny. When you respond rather than react, you become truly powerful. Let others be puppets of their emotions. Let them swing wildly between reactions. Let them be controlled by every provocation. You walk the warrior's path, where emotions are felt but do not control, where reactions are transformed into responses, where inner mastery creates outer victory. Live as if already dead. Watch how fear grips the untested warrior. See how it makes him hesitate before action. Hold back in crucial moments. Live half a life to preserve what cannot be preserved. Now watch the master who has accepted his death. See the total freedom in his movements, the absolute commitment in his actions, the pure life force that flows when fear no longer binds. In my most dangerous duels, I discovered a truth that transformed everything. Only when you accept death completely can you live completely. Only when you release all attachment to survival can you access total power. Look at how fear constrains your life now. The risks not taken, the truths not spoken, the paths not walked. Each limitation born not from wisdom, but from the desperate, clinging to what must eventually be lost. First, understand this principle. You are already dead. Your death was certain from the moment of your birth. Accepting this fully doesn't lead to morbidity. It leads to unprecedented freedom. Begin with this practice, the death meditation. Sit quietly. Feel your mortality not as a future event, but as a present reality. Let it sink into your bones. You are already dead. Notice how this shifts everything. Learn to recognize the many masks of fear: procrastination, perfectionism, people-pleasing, excessive preparation. Each of these is fear wearing a different costume. Each is the refusal to accept life's temporary nature. Practice this, the freedom of acceptance. Before any challenging action, remind yourself, I am already dead. Feel how this removes hesitation. Feel how it dissolves fear. Feel how it enables total commitment. Your mind will resist this teaching fiercely. It will create elaborate justifications for caution, for holding back, for living small. See these for what they are, the ego's desperate attempt to maintain the illusion of permanence. Understand the difference between recklessness and fearlessness. The reckless person hasn't faced death. The fearless person has faced it so completely that it no longer holds power. This is the warrior's way. Master the art of full engagement. When you accept your death, every moment becomes an opportunity for total participation. No holding back, no hedging bets, no saving energy for a future that may never come. Learn to recognize half-living, the partial commitments, the conditional love, the qualified truth-telling. Each of these is a symptom of death denial, each a chain that binds warrior spirit. Your actions must become total. When you speak, speak as if these are your last words. When you love, love as if this is your final embrace. When you create, create as if this is your ultimate expression. Practice the art of peaceful urgency, not the frantic urgency of fear, but the focused urgency of acceptance. Each moment becomes precious, not because you might lose it, but because you already have. Understand this. Fear of death underlies all other fears. Master this one fear, and all other fears become manageable. Accept this one reality, and all other realities become clearer. Start here. Choose one action you've been avoiding out of fear. Approach it with death acceptance. Not, what if I fail? But, I am already dead. What is there to fear? Feel the difference in your capacity for action. Remember, this is not about becoming careless with life. It is about becoming so fully accepting of death that you can finally live without restraint. The warrior values life precisely because he accepts its temporary nature. Your relationships transform through death acceptance. When you live as if already dead, every interaction becomes an opportunity for total presence, complete honesty, absolute love. Learn to recognize the taste of freedom. When you act from death acceptance, there is a distinctive flavor to existence, crisp, clear, utterly alive. This is your birthright as a warrior. Modern culture runs from death. It sells immortality dreams and endless youth. It turns death into a medical event rather than a spiritual truth. The warrior must stand against this tide of denial, because when you live as if already dead, you finally begin to truly live. When you accept mortality completely, you access immortal power. When you release all fear of death, you become truly unstoppable. Let others cling to their illusions of permanence. Let them live half-lives ruled by fear. Let them postpone their truth, their power, their purpose. You walk the warrior's path where death is not an enemy to be feared but a teacher to be embraced, where acceptance of mortality leads to mastery of life, where living as if already dead becomes the ultimate expression of being fully alive. Discipline is not an achievement. Watch the student who celebrates mastering a sword form, thinking he has arrived. See how his practice grows lax, his attention wanders, his edge begins to dull. Now watch the master who, after 40 years, still practices the basic cuts each dawn. This is the difference between seeing discipline as achievement and understanding it as existence. In my journey, I learned that the moment you think you have mastered discipline is the moment you begin to lose it. It is not a mountain to be climbed, but a path to be walked, not a destination to be reached, but a way to be lived. Look at how you think of discipline now, as a goal to be achieved, as a state to be reached, as something you can have rather than something you must continually choose. This misunderstanding weakens your warrior spirit. First, understand this principle. Discipline is not something you achieve and keep. It is something you practice and maintain. Like a sword's edge, it must be honed daily, or it dulls. Begin with this practice, the beginner's mind. Each morning, approach your practice as if for the first time. Not with ignorance, but with freshness. Not with uncertainty, but with openness. This keeps discipline alive. Learn to recognize the signs of false mastery, the relaxed standards, the skipped practices, the just this once exceptions. Each of these is discipline dying by degrees, mastery fading through presumption. Practice this, the daily renewal. Each night, release all sense of achievement. Each morning, begin again, not as continuation, but as fresh commitment. This keeps discipline from becoming stale routine. Your mind will try to turn discipline into achievement. It will want to mark progress, reach milestones, declare victory. See these for what they are, ego's attempt to turn a living practice into a dead trophy. Understand the difference between progress and arrival. Progress strengthens discipline. The illusion of arrival kills it. A warrior is always advancing but never arrives, always improving but never finished. Master the art of eternal practice. Like breathing, discipline must be renewed moment by moment. You don't achieve breathing and then stop. Neither can you achieve discipline and then rest. Learn to find joy in the endless nature of the path. The warrior who sees discipline as burden will eventually put it down. The one who sees it as life itself will carry it naturally, endlessly. Your practice must become like your heartbeat, constant, essential, unquestioned. Not something you do, but something you are. Not a choice you make, but the core of your existence. Practice the art of starting over. Each day, each hour, each moment. Begin again, not from weakness, but from wisdom. Not from failure, but from understanding. This is how discipline stays alive. Understand this. Every master is still a student. Every expert is still a beginner. Every achievement is just a platform for deeper practice. This is not humility. It is reality. Start here. Choose one. Discipline you think you've mastered. Approach it today as a complete beginner. Notice what you've been missing. Notice what you've been assuming. Notice what you can still learn. Remember, this is not about denying progress. It is about preventing progress from becoming prison. Not about ignoring achievement, but about keeping achievement from becoming attachment. Your discipline must be like a living thing, growing, adapting, evolving. Not a fixed state, but a dynamic practice. Not a finished product, but a continuous process. Learn to recognize the deadly comfort of mastery. When practice becomes easy, when discipline becomes automatic, when challenge fades, these are warnings, not achievements. Modern culture celebrates arrivals, graduations, certifications, achievements. The warrior knows these are not ends, but beginnings. Not summits, but base camps. Because when you understand that discipline is not achievement, you free yourself to grow endlessly. When you release the need to arrive, you gain the power to advance forever. When you embrace the endless path, you become truly unstoppable. Let others celebrate their arrivals. Let them declare their mastery. Let them rest on their achievements. You walk the warrior's path, where discipline is not a goal, but a way of being, where mastery is not an end, but an endless beginning, where the journey itself is the only destination worth seeking. Walk the way alone, yet not in isolation. Deepest truths of the warrior's path must be discovered in solitude, yet the highest expression of these truths emerges in connection. This is the final paradox you must master. In my life, I fought many duels alone, trained countless hours in solitude, walked long roads with only my thoughts for company. Yet my understanding of the way grew, not just through isolation, but through the mirrors others provided, through the challenges they presented, through the wisdom they shared. Look at how you approach this balance now, perhaps seeking constant company to avoid facing yourself, perhaps using solitude as a shield rather than a forge. Either extreme weakens the warrior's path. First, understand this principle. The warrior's journey is fundamentally solitary. No one can walk your path for you, face your battles for you, or discover your truth for you. Yet this solitude must serve connection, not prevent it. Begin with this practice, the solitary hour. Each day spend 1 hour in complete solitude. No phone, no books, no distractions. Just you with your thoughts, your practice, your truth. This builds the foundation of independent strength. Learn to recognize the difference between solitude and isolation. Solitude strengthens. It is chosen, purposeful, regenerative. Isolation weakens. It is fearful, defensive, degenerative. A warrior must master the first while avoiding the second. Practice this, the conscious connection. When with others, be fully with them, not half-present, not strategically distant, not emotionally guarded. This is how solitude serves relationship. Rather than replacing it, your path must be walked alone, but its fruits must be shared. Like a sword master who trains in solitude but teaches with full presence, your practice must ultimately serve more than just yourself. Understand the balance. The strength you forge in solitude enables deeper connection. The wisdom you gain through connection informs your solitary practice. Each serves the other in an endless cycle of growth. Master the art of selective companionship. Not everyone deserves access to your solitude. Not every relationship merits your full presence. Choose your connections as carefully as a warrior chooses his battles. Learn to be alone in a crowd, to maintain your center in chaos, to hold your truth in the face of opposition. This is how the warrior brings his solitary strength into the world of connection. Your practice must have its private and public faces. Some techniques are for your eyes only. Some wisdom is for your heart alone. Yet the power these generate must ultimately serve others. Practice the art of meaningful impact. Your presence should improve every space you enter. Your energy should lift those you encounter. Your peace should calm those in turmoil. This is how solitude serves society. Understand this. True independence enables genuine interdependence. When you can truly stand alone, you can truly stand with others. When you need nothing from them, you can give everything to them. Start here. Examine your relationships. Which ones drain your warrior spirit? Which ones feed it? Which ones challenge you to grow? Adjust accordingly, without guilt, without hesitation. Remember, the warrior's solitude is not escape from the world, but preparation for deeper engagement with it. Not rejection of others, but cultivation of what you can offer them. Your influence must be like a sword's cut, clean, precise, purposeful, not seeking to change everyone, but affecting deeply those who are ready. This is how the warrior's path serves beyond the warrior. Learn to recognize true teachers, not those who demand following, but those who encourage independence, not those who create dependency, but those who inspire autonomy. These are the companions worth keeping. Modern culture fears solitude. It promotes constant connection, endless communication, perpetual accessibility. The warrior must find the strength to step back, to maintain sacred solitude while remaining meaningfully engaged. Because when you master this balance between solitude and connection, between independence and influence, you master the final challenge of the warrior's path. When you learn to walk alone yet not in isolation, you become both sword and sheath, both warrior and teacher. Let others lose themselves in constant connection. Let them flee from solitude. Let them mistake isolation for independence. You walk the warrior's path where solitude and connection dance together, where independence and influence strengthen each other, where the highest mastery serves not just self, but all. This is the end of our teachings, but it is not the end of your path. For the true warrior knows that every ending is a beginning, every mastery is a fresh start, every achievement is a new challenge. Go forth now. Walk alone, yet touch many. Stand independent, yet serve all. This is the final paradox and the highest truth of the warrior's way.